Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics Horde Prime. The Emperor of the Evil Horde and older brother of Hordak, Horde Prime has been in existence in the world of Masters of the Universe since the days of Filmation. Even though he's appeared in the She-Ra cartoon and even in the UK comic books, Horde Prime never really had a definitive look. So, how is he handled in action figure form? Let's find out. Horde Prime comes in the standard Masters of the Universe Classics blister card packaging. The front of the package includes the Evil Horde insignia sticker on the bubble. The back shows off a selection of other figures in the Masters of the Universe Classics line, as well as a brand new bio for Horde Prime. Now notice the question mark where the picture usually is. This is because, as mentioned earlier, there wasn't really a set look for Horde Prime. So for this figure, the four horsemen have sculpted a brand new head just for the toy. But Mattel has not officially released the look of that head to the public. It's meant to be a surprise to the fans who buy this figure. We won't know what he looks like until we open up the figure and remove his helmet. Which brings me to this. So when I got the box, I noticed it was a little dinged up. Then I noticed that it came already open. You can see the card back was already separated from the blister bubble. You getting the picture here? This isn't the first time I've seen this happen in a review product sample that I've been sent from Mattel. Usually the packages come like this when there's some sort of secret accessory that Mattel is trying to keep secret. So with that being said, are you ready to see who's under the mask of Horde Prime? Drum roll please, big moment, here it comes. Bum bum bum! It was the mighty Spectre the whole time! Okay, obviously this is a joke by Mattel. The mighty Spectre's head isn't the real head that's going to come with Horde Prime when he comes out. But Toy Guru did this as a joke because Mattel is obviously still trying to keep Horde Prime's real head a secret until you get it. Now yes, there have been some leaked images online of some of the early factory samples showing what the head sculpt looks like, but Mattel has not officially released any pictures of Horde Prime's head. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to do this review without his real head, and you guys are going to have to wait to see what it looks like when you get him in the mail. So, we don't get a look at the new head in this review, but we can still look at the rest of the figure and his alternate head. Now, one of the ways Horde Prime was depicted was as this shadowy image in the She-Ra cartoon series. We never actually saw Horde Prime himself, only the smoky image and, at times, large robotic hands. The Horde Prime action figure features a red and black color scheme, the colors of the Evil Horde logo. The helmet is a new design, but actually does seem to have a resemblance to that shadowy figure in the Filmation cartoons, which is a really nice touch. The figure also has these cool silver robotic looking hands, which is another homage to the robotic hands seen in the cartoon. Otherwise, the figure is mostly a clever reuse of parts from other figures. The arms come from Trapjaw and Roboto, the loincloth piece from the Faceless one, and the boots are a mix of Hordak's feet and Trapjaw's boots retooled a bit with cool red bat wings coming off the sides. The armor underneath his cape is very similar to Hordak's, with the only real difference being the paint job and that bat logo on the front. Horde Prime's is a solid black with no details. Now underneath the helmet we see the same style collar that Hordak wears. Note that I have put Hordak's head on here just so that you can see the similarity to the one Hordak wears. The differences are the little lines that are sculpted in, and the fact that this one does not have a cape already attached to it. Now, Horde Prime does have a cape, however. His actually is large enough to fit over the collar piece and sit right on Horde Prime's shoulders. The cape is red, with large black shoulder pads and a Horde logo that hangs over his chest. The cape is made of a softer, pliable plastic that is very similar to other capes we have already seen in this line. Alright, we got a lot going on with Horde Prime here, so let's take a closer look at him. Let's do this first. Now, I went ahead and I put Hordak head on there just because it seems like it's a little bit of a better fit than the Spectre head. But I want to show you how this whole contraption here works, how everything sitting on top works. First of all, as I showed you, the cape is a separate piece, just comes up right over the shoulders there. So it's got the little Horde logo hanging in the front that hangs in front of his chest. You can just lift this right off the figure. It's just made to sit on his shoulders. So that leaves us with the little collar piece underneath, which is similar to Hordak's, but not exactly the same. And then this is the helmet. Now this is how the helmet fits on there. It is actually made so it's shaped to fit over the top of the collar, as you can see. It almost works like it's a continuation of the collar. And it just kind of sits loosely on top. It doesn't snap into place or lock or anything like that. It is kind of loose. One thing I'm going to note on here, and we'll see if the camera can actually get good shots of this, there are grooves in the inside of the helmet, which looks like they are designed for Horde Prime's actual head sculpt. So I can assume that this might actually fit a little more snug when we have the real head to sit the helmet on top of. But that kind of gives you a little bit of a glimpse, maybe, of what the top of Horde Prime's head looks like. So it does just kind of sit right over the top. Might be a little bit better when we get the actual Horde Prime head underneath. Now, as far as the articulation goes, it's pretty standard stuff. It's all very tight, which is great. Everything on this figure is real tight. So you can see how stiff the arms actually move up and down. They rotate around. You got bicep twist. You got your elbow twist. You got your wrist twists. The waist can turn. The armor does kind of hinder the cut in the articulation there. The loincloth piece is very soft. So you can see he can get the leg splits. You can get him in a good sitting pose. It doesn't really get in the way whatsoever. Got solid knee joints there. You got twists at the boot cut. And then you have your ankle joints, which are very tight on this figure. I haven't had any problems with him toppling over or anything like that. So articulation is very nice on this figure. The little batwing pieces hanging off the side are actually made of a pliable plastic, but they are nice and thick. They're not too thin. They're real thick. And they're solid, so I don't think you have to worry about them ripping off or tearing or anything like that unless you're really actually trying to rip them or tear them off. They should be very good and solid there. The armor works just like Hordak's armor. It's very similar. You can see I just pulled the head off and I pulled the collar off. It just unsnaps in the back here. You just pop that off. And of course that does just reveal the regular male buck underneath. Now, this is something else I noticed while I was playing with the figure. And I will get the Hordak body in here just to kind of display. Horde Prime stands taller than Hordak and the regular figures. Here, we'll take the heads off just both so you can see. The way that I assume the way they have the figure assembled, probably in the waist area or something, they gave him a bit of a lift. So he does actually stand about a shoulder taller than Hordak, which is kind of a nice touch. And I actually do have photo here that you can see with Horde Prime with Hordak's head and Hurricane Hordak's head on the Horde Prime body next to the Hordak, just so you can see the two standing side by side. He looks like he's towering over Hordak, which is kind of cool considering he's supposed to be like the big boss or Hordak's older brother. So I think that's kind of a neat little extra touch that they added to the figure. So there you go, guys. There is your look at Horde Prime. Keeping with the Horde theme, as a weapon, Horde Prime includes a crossbow. This one is different than the others though. Horde Prime has the ability to remove his hand and the crossbow then plugs in its place. Actually, both of his hands are removable, so you can display the crossbow on either side. The crossbow is silver and actually has a little Hordak looking face right on the front. Now, since he's got this as an interchangeable handpiece, the good thing to know is that the joints are the very same that we've already seen before on figures like Trapjaw and Roboto. So the joint is very snug and tight, and you can use this attachment with some of those past figures, and you can use all of those attachments with Horde Prime. In fact, one of the things that's really cool is that this new Horde Crossbow looks pretty snazzy with Hurricane Hordak. The bonus head included with this figure is based on Horde Prime's appearance in the UK-released comic books. As you can see, the look is quite a bit different, and yeah, it's a bit goofy. But this head sculpt perfectly captures the look, and to be honest, I rather like it. Now, the colors don't really match very well with the red and black of the rest of the Horde Prime outfit on the figure, but you can definitely try combining it with other figures that you already have and customize your own perfect UK Horde Prime. While we still don't have a solid look at the final design of Horde Prime's head, the rest of the figure does seem really nice. The figure was almost a completely clean slate for the Horseman to work from, since there wasn't a definitive look for the character. So with a clever reuse of parts, some cool nods to the classic Filmation version, and the addition of the head from the UK comic version, I feel that this is overall a pretty cool figure that I honestly never knew that I'd even wanted. I personally have never been fond of the idea of Hordak actually reporting to anybody. I always liked looking at Hordak as the one and only leader of the Horde. But I can't deny that this is one really cool figure. And don't worry, as soon as I get the real head, I'll do a follow-up video to take a look at it. Horde Prime will be available on MattyCollector.com on June 15th, 2012, and is part of the Eternian Collectors Club subscription. Until next time.